Hello everybody. Reaching out to inform you that we are in full storm preparations here in the city of Quincy. As you may know, we're about to be hit with a major coastal storm event, which is going to start sometime in the early morning hours of Friday, March 2nd. We have already canceled Quincy Public Schools for Friday, all schools, all day Friday, no schools, Quincy Public Schools. We have had several meetings with individuals, and we've had a general meeting with my key department heads preparing for what looks like it's going to be a major coastal storm. Folks, this is we're getting reports from the governor, from MEMA, from the National Weather Service, and if you watch any local TV, they're all talking about the same thing. Do not take this storm lightly. We're looking at three very challenging high tides succeeding each other. One starting tomorrow, Friday, March 2nd at 11:15. We have prepared the city with all our tide gate preparations. We have pumps ready to go. We have extra equipment, manpower in, you name it. We are preparing as best we can. But there are folks that live in those low-lying areas that may get hit every so many years. You're going to be susceptible to this storm. Please use some common sense and, if need be, evacuate, take the necessary precautions, make sure you're safe, and certainly your family is safe. The peninsulas look like they could be cut off, Squantum and House Neck. From the mainland of the city. We expect, just like we had the blizzard in January with the major coastal event, the high tide essentially, cut off both areas for a period of time. We're looking at three tides like that in a row that could be major, could become a major problem. So the duration of you being cut off may be a day or two. We have equipment in place in both peninsulas, extra fire apparatus, ambulances, police vehicles, and DPW vehicles. So we will be prepared for any emergency. And by the way, during the storm, any emergency, always use 911 to report that emergency. If you're looking for emergency information, though, we ask you to contact our EOC Center at 617-376-1105. They can help direct you if you have any questions. All of our tide gates have been locked down and prepared. It's not just a coastal event, because what happens in a coastal event such as this, with the tide gates down, the water's going to back up. So places like Blacks Creek, which normally hold the water until the tide goes out, will be backed up. So therefore, Furnace Brook's going to back up. We may have some problems in Putnam, Lafayette area. We'll probably have problems in Miller Street, Cross Street, Ulrich Road, and Blue Street, those same streets that experience these issues from time to time historically. We have made some great progress in our flood control projects, but we're not complete. It's going to take years to get this finished. So if you're in one of those areas that is usually susceptible, please plan accordingly. We are going to be opening 3 shelters tomorrow morning, being Friday, March 2nd. For Squantum, the Squantum School is going to be available for folks. House Neck, the Atherton House School is going to be available. And further up towards the center of the city, Quincy High School is going to be available. And we will have personnel, if necessary, to help people out of their homes if it gets that severe. But would rather not put other lives at risk rescuing somebody. Please make plans ahead of time. If you're in one of those areas that historically has flooded in events such as this, please make plans to get out ahead of time. If you can't go to a family member's home, a friend, certainly a neighbor that's on higher ground, then please use one of the shelters that we're making available. And we usually do the Quincy High, but we're doing 3 because of the issue with the peninsulas being potentially cut off. Additionally, the Public Works Department during the course of the weekend will be compiling a list for those folks that get basements flooded to pump out. And that number is 617-376-1910. But we're not going to begin the pumping operations until the tide recedes, because we're just circulating the water otherwise. So I ask you to be patient, but call that number. You want to get on the list to get help with pumping out your basement. So we have extra policemen on, extra fire, extra public works, public buildings. We've ordered pumps. We have extra equipment on standby. We're as prepared as we can be. Our own school buildings and public buildings, we are prepared as well, doing the necessary preparations to make sure we don't have any damage in some of those buildings. There's going to be high winds. We're going to have limbs down, potentially trees down, and that should be reported also to probably the Park Department at 617-376-1251. But again, you could get a hold of the Emergency Operating Center at the 376-1105 number if need be. we will have crews out there. If wires are down, please tell your kids, stay away from the wires, report that. We will have National Grid personnel checking in with us, but they will not be repairing many of these wires until the storm subsides. You got to understand that if there's 60, 70 mile an hour winds, they can't go up on the bucket truck to repair lines. So if they're on the ground, please stay away from those, but do report them to our emergency operating center. We will be staying in touch over the course of the weekend with any further updates. But again, I'd ask you, look out for your neighbor, make the necessary preparations, and go to higher ground ahead of the storm, please. It would help us in many, many ways. Good luck. Stay in touch with us if there's anything we can do for you, and we'll get through this together as we always do in this great community we call home, Quincy. Thanks for listening.